Hey fellow Force users, what is up? It's Jasmine, the Ahsoka Tano fan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Do you guys like my shirt today? This is how I feel every morning before work. So as you guys know, last week, obviously, I had to take a little bit of a break from The Mandalorian and The Bad Batch. Thank you for all the well wishes and for the birthday wishes. Yeah, it does feel good to be back. I'm feeling a lot better now. So last time I saw you, we had reacted to and reviewed the premiere of season 3 of The Mandalorian, which is off to a great start. We saw Mando and Grogu reunited, obviously. We saw Greef Karga as well. And we saw that Mando is trying to get his droid back, IG-11. And in order to do so, it looks like he has to find this missing part. We also saw Bo-Katan. They had a conversation, and Mando looks like he is trying to make his way to the mines of Mandalore. And we also were introduced to that new pirate character as well. So there's kind of lots going on. That episode was great. I definitely felt it was setting up for bigger things to come. So for today, I've never done this before, so I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm gonna try and do a sort of 2-in-1 video where I actually react to last week's episode first, followed by this week's. So if you want to see the reaction to this week's episode, you can just look at the chapters below in the description and skip ahead. But otherwise, without further ado, let's blast our way into episode 2, aka chapter 18, and check out what's in store for us. This looks like some pod race? Peli, oh my goodness, I knew we'd see her again.
Fine, I'll push it back out in the street. You heard him. Pitch rides?
This girl's too much.
Well, I don't appreciate the tone of voice, but I'll fix it.
She knows every language, I feel like.
Big holiday. I have big plans. You know, I just don't sit around here and work all day. I'm very popular.
That's exactly what she does, sit around and work all day.
Let's get this thing back together again. Quickly, before he sees you.
Oh, does she already have the part there?
Back on the speeder. Paint him so they look different. Here you go.
Oh my gosh, what a swindler. Is this Mando coming? Damn, she still has the missing tooth from Book of Boba Fett when she fell on her face.
Well, where's my guy?
Oh my gosh. Look at that, force jump.
I think he's talking to me. Did you hear that? He said Peli.
On business.
Oh, are the Hutts back? Are you taking on Boba Fett?
I need a droid part.
Are you taking out Boba Fett? Why would she say that? She knows they work together, right? Are we gonna see Boba in this episode, guys?
I think you should buy this beauty here.
Yikes.
I'm going to Mandalore. I need a droid that can explore ahead of me and test the atmosphere.
He looks scared.
You're supposed to be piloting starfighters across the galaxy and fighting tyranny. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you this for half the price and throw in a free oil bath.
The queen negotiator, man, this girl.
I wouldn't rely too much on this one. Its circuitry is a little fragile.
I thought you said it was built for adventure.
Oh my gosh. Now it's too late. I was talking to someone about this the other day, but I'm really wondering, Mando and Grogu on this ship, where do they sleep and rest? Because they don't seem to actually have a base that they go back to. Because for the Bad Batch, they sleep on their ship, they eat on their ship because it's big enough for that. But here, it seems like there's no way they can do that on that ship, you know? So I kind of wonder, maybe they'll have to find some type of base somewhere.
I've never been there either.
Oh.
I grew up there, on that moon, Concordia.
That is, I'm pretty sure, where Ahsoka and Lux went.
System. A Mandalorian has to understand maps and know their way around.
I can swear Grogu's talking a little more, actually. I'm hearing a couple words there, I think. But yeah, Concordia, I'm pretty sure that's where Ahsoka and Lux went, right? In season 4, Friend in Need. Or maybe that was Karlak. I might be confusing the two. The cinematography is amazing.
From the surface, we won't be able to communicate with anyone out of atmosphere, so we have to be careful.
Great. That means things are gonna go wrong. It'd be so cool if somehow the Bad Batch were in this, you know? Because exploring a planet like this seems like something the Bad Batch would do, you know?
I just need him to take some readings to make sure it's safe.
I feel like something's gonna happen to the droid. I keep expecting some explosion or something. He's gonna disappear, isn't he? Oh, crap.
R5. Come in, do you read?
I feel like when Grogu's scared, his ears kind of flop down.
I'll be right back.
Or when he's sad. It's either kind of down. Oh, wait, I think I remember this from the trailer. Isn't there some creature here? I think Grogu, doesn't he come out with the Force or something to save Mando, maybe? Are those the mines that he's looking for? Crap. Oh, he pulled that out. He's not bad, but he's still kind of struggling. No. Wow. Yeah, Grogu's gonna have to help him for sure. Damn. Is that droid toast?
Okay.
Okay, he was just knocked over. Oh, he's holding out his little hand.
The atmosphere is breathable. Bo-Katan was right. Mandalore is not cursed.
I feel like this experience is going to change Mando's perspective about a lot of things. I think a lot of what he thought he knew is going to be proven wrong. And then he's going to become more open-minded. And maybe even kind of move away from his creed. What if one of them survived? I think one of them did, because I'm still thinking of that scene from the trailer. Oh man, that's actually so sad. Look how far Mandalore's fallen. Oh. Ooh. Was that someone else entirely, or was that one of the people from before he thought he killed, but he didn't really kill him? He's going through an awful lot just to be accepted back into his tribe, man. I think I just have to let them go. I don't think all this risk is worth it. And by the end of it all, he may not even want to go back to his tribe. Oh, it's a helmet. Whose helmet in particular, though? A fallen soldier? Oh. Whoa, what the hell is that? That's a droid? Grogu's gonna do something. Wow, so it was a trap. It looks like he's losing consciousness. Kind of looks like a crab, that droid. Oh, there's someone in there. I'm kind of confused. What is that? Grogu's got to do something. Did he just take his weapon? He did. Weapons. That's the Darksaber right there. He's trying to get him out using the Force. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. So he's gonna need to get help. Grogu to the rescue. Oh. Oh my god. Yes, this was the part from the trailer. Come on, Grogu, you got it. Push that guy. Oh my god. That scene, even in the trailer, it made me laugh. The way he just had his hand out like that. Whoa. Oh, go, Grogu. Before it destroys the droid. Is that a dragon? Kinda look like it. Well, brother. Damn, I feel so sorry for her. She's completely alone.
Let's get rid of him once and for all.
Oh, excuse me? By get rid of, she means... How can you say no to that?
What happened to him?
Oh, I love that ship. It's so cool. So she is gonna help him. Seeing it is kind of, I think, affecting her emotionally. That ship is wicked, man.
I'm gonna need you to guide me to him. Can you do that?
Everybody has a soft spot for Grogu. How could you not? Bo-Katan's such a surprising character for me because when she first made her appearance in the Clone Wars, till now, I didn't expect her character to change so much and for me to actually really like her. She's definitely had quite the character arc. She has to just take it in with her own eyes.
This was once a beautiful civilization. My family ruled it all. Now it's a tomb.
That's so sad to see it like that. Did he stop?
I know that you're frightened, but I need you to guide me to him. I knew quite a few Jedi, you know.
Yes, you did.
I don't know what they taught you about us, but there was a time we actually got along quite well. Fought side by side.
Ahsoka! What's there? Did she just push him to the side? She's good, man. Oh, no. Damn, it's too bad she can't have backup. Well, I guess she kind of does with Grogu, but...
Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian?
Oh, she says your dad. What the? He just poked him with something. Is he taking his blood? Oh, he is, it kind of looks like. Oh my god, he's taking his blood? To eat him? To test it? What was he? Come on, Bo-Katan. She's getting that dark saber. Kill this guy, man.
Can you hear me?
This guy's not dead still. Is it just an eye? Maybe Grogu will handle him. No.
Are you trying to say something?
Behind you.
Behind you.
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, crap. Yes, girl, finish him. But get rid of that eye or whatever that is, because it seems like as long as he has that, he can power up.
How did you find me?
Your little
You're
friend?
a kid.
Thank you for rescuing me.
I once ruled here for a brief time. Now it's destroyed.
Oh, he has to take off his helmet.
You've never eaten Pog soup.
No.
Oh, that's how he's gonna do it. Okay.
Any Mandalorian worth their armor was raised on this since they were his size. I'll get you back to my ship soon enough.
I'm not going with you.
Wait, after all that?
I must continue to the mines of Mandalore.
Oh my gosh.
I honestly think that it's adorable that you actually believe these children's stories.
The creed is how we survive, and I'll always be in your debt.
I will take you. You'd never find them on your own.
Thank you.
Wow. Bo-Katan she's quite impressive that she's going through all this for something that she doesn't believe just for Mando, you know?
It must pain you to see it like this after witnessing its beauty.
What pains me is seeing our own kind fight one another time and time again. The entrance to the mines of Mandalore.
That kind of looks like Malachor when Ahsoka was walking back in. That entrance is similar.
I was part of the royal family, but the rituals were all just theater for our subjects. They loved watching the princess recite the Mandalorian tenets as her father looked on proudly.
Is she gonna mention Satine here?
Your father sounds like an interesting man.
He was a great man. He died defending Mandalore.
What about Satine? Are you gonna mention her?
This is the
Oh, he's honoring her.
What are you looking at?
Wait, are they potentially setting up a love interest? Or am I looking too deeply into that, guys? I don't know. Just the way she said that to Grogu kind of reminded me of a kid looking at his mom and dad almost, you know? I don't know.
Mandalore the Great is said to have tamed the mythical beast. It is from these legends that the skull signet was adopted and became the symbol of our planet.
Oh, that's where the skull's from. But I think we've seen that symbol before. I'm pretty sure the armorer has it in her lair. What's he doing? Is he taking off his helmet? How is he going to even prove that he did bathe in the waters?
I swear on my name and the names of the ancestors that I shall walk the way of the Mandalore in my heart.
Oh no. Shit. Oh no. Did he get grabbed or did he get sucked down by some whirlpool? Where'd he go? Well, my screen's pretty dark. I can't even really see. Oh. How'd he end up all the way down there, man? Oh, is that the beast? It's alive! Oh! Oh, hell no. But I think, didn't the scripture she was reading say they defeated the beast? Whoa. Oh, crap. Okay, I may have to rewatch that part, but I'm pretty sure that the scripture meant Bo-Katan was reading at the end there was saying that they defeated that beast, but it looks like the beast is still there, according to that shot at the end. So I don't know what's up with that. Wow, so this is definitely going to be a two-parter. So it looks like the next episode is going to conclude this arc. But that was a really good episode. I really actually enjoyed it from start to finish. Number one, I think I love the interaction between Bo-Katan and Mando. I think that was definitely the foundation of this episode. As much as she was talking about wanting to be left alone, I love the fact that as soon as she knew he was in trouble, she didn't even think twice. She just went right into the line of danger to try and rescue Din. I think that really shows her character, how far along she's come. She really does stand by her friends and I think people that she considers to be one of her kind. And obviously her and Din come from different tribes and she doesn't agree with his ways, nor does he agree with her ways. But despite that, she still sees him as a Mandalorian, and that's so powerful. You could tell as well that she didn't believe in him going into the mines of Mandalore to bathe in the waters and all of that. She quite literally called them children's stories. But even still, she opted to take him there. And then when he got pulled underwater, she didn't think twice again. She just dove right in. So I really, really like that. I think that is so powerful and really speaks to how much she cares for him. Now, I did mention in my reaction, I can't tell if they're hinting at potentially a romantic connection between the two of them. But either way, I would be okay with that, or if they just remain friends, but there's definitely a deep bond between the two of them. I think they both are learning a lot from one another. I think they're learning that in a way, the other person is both right and wrong about certain things. So for example, Mando realized that Bo-Katan was right about what she was saying about the planet, how it's not cursed, right? And he wouldn't have known that if he hadn't gone there to see for himself. He's witnessing a lot of things for the first time, Mandalore and what it looked like and whatnot. And she even gave him, I think it was pog soup, that's what it's called. And he hadn't tried that before. And he admitted to not actually growing up on Mandalore. He grew up on Concordia, whereas Bo-Katan is from Mandalore. So I love the fact that he's learning a lot from her. But at the same time, she's also learning from him too, because she definitely was under the impression that there's nothing special about the waters, doesn't mean anything. And she was even reading that scripture that talked about how their people defeated that creature and adopted that symbol. And then when she dives into the waters, what does she find? That there actually is in fact something special, if you will, about the waters, or something more to the waters, and that is the creature looks like it's still alive by the end of that episode. And so that's something that she didn't even know. So I really feel like this episode showed us that both Mando and Bo-Katan have been right and wrong about things, and that's why they're such a powerful duo, because they really do learn from one another. And then of course in the beginning of the episode we saw Peli again. It's always nice to see her. Mando looks like he gave up on looking for that part for his IG-11 and instead took the astromech droid. So I guess he's rolling with that droid for now. I don't know if we're gonna see IG-11 fully revived after all. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Overall, that was a great episode, and I just think it's so sad to see what Mandalore has become. It was so lively and vibrant, and now, like Bo-Katan said, it's just a tomb. It's kind of upsetting / tragic to see, especially since we as viewers have seen Mandalore before its downfall. I would actually like to see exactly what happened to Mandalore, because I know it's only been mentioned so far that the Empire basically came in and destroyed everything, but I wonder if we're ever actually gonna get to see that take place. And Bo-Katan saying, I used to rule over here for a brief period of time and now it's a tomb, is definitely a reflection of what her life is now. Her droid addresses her as Your Majesty, so she is still looked at as royalty and a queen to a certain extent, but she's living completely by herself and the hallways are barren. She lives alone. She really is a ruler of nothing now, and what she previously used to rule over is now a tomb. So it just kind of does, again, reinforce the fact that she has really kind of lost everything. But at the same time, I think she's also kind of finding a new path as well. And part of her finding a new path includes walking this new path with Din. So I'm excited to see where both characters go and how they both change and shape each other's perspectives going on from here. So yeah, anyways, guys, that was a great episode. So without further ado, let's blast our way into the next episode now, which is episode 3 and chapter 19. Let's check it out and see what's in store for us. I rewatched that part at the end there. It looks like Bo-Katan said that Mandalore tamed the creature, didn't necessarily kill it, but either way, I still don't think that she would have expected to see the creature in that way under the water. I don't know. I kind of got the impression that she was caught off guard by that. But yeah, anyways, guys, let's get into the next episode now. I also feel like Mando saying that ritual, completing this ritual and then getting sucked under, almost implies that his creed is cursed somehow, I feel. Because even if you think a couple episodes back, same thing, the child was going through that whole process and then that creature came out of nowhere. It seems like every time someone from his tribe tries to complete this ritual, then something bad ends up happening. I don't know. So, did he complete the ritual, or it doesn't count because he never finished saying the words?
I am redeemed.
I witnessed it. Can we leave now?
Oh, he collected the sample. Don't lose that sample now.
You see anything down there?
I saw the chasm passing me as I fell.
Did you see anything alive?
Like what?
Nothing. Let's get out of here.
She's not gonna tell him? So she didn't expect the creature to be alive then. That's what I thought. I guess she doesn't want to admit that he might be right. That part of the old creed was correct in terms of Mandalore taming that beast. I don't know.
I would invite you in for a feast, but I'm guessing that helmet isn't coming off again.
Way.
This is the way.
What's he saying? Uh-oh.
We took a hit.
How do they... Oh, crap.
Where'd they come from?
I've scoped off a lot of Imperial warlords.
They tend to get mad when you hijack their ships.
Oh. Haha, man. Oh my gosh. I feel like her ship is a good ship for him to have, him and Grogu, since they don't really have a home base.
See any other choice?
Isn't it kind of bad that she's leading them right to her home? So he's gonna get into his ship and then take them out that way. Unless they destroy it right now. Hurry, Mando. Whoa, holy, that was too close. Nice shot.
Made it to the N1.
Don't worry. I grew up flying these cliffs. Of course, it's been a while.
Haha, now he's scared again. Nice. They make such a good team. Oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Have one wing up, the other down. That's sick. She's good, man.
You take any damage?
Just shields. You?
Not a scratch.
Let's take him in just to be sure. Nice shooting.
I feel like she likes him.
I'm seeing something on the scope.
Oh no. Is that her house? Oh my god. No way. They're bombing her palace? Now she's gonna have to go with him. I can't believe that. Oh no.
Those mudscuffers bombed my home.
Wow. See, I thought it was bad because it seemed almost like they were leading them towards her home, right? There's a bunch of them. Oh my god, look over.
We've got company.
They've got to go.
Listen to me. You have to get out of there.
She better listen before she gets killed. Wow. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Nice. Oh, wow, that's horrible. She just lost her home. The convert. Oh, does that mean one of them is switching over to the other side? Coruscant! Nice. Who are we going to see here, I wonder?
The amnesty program saved my life.
This is the doctor
Many
from...
of us, so thank you.
That's the doctor, right? Who's that guy, though, that's walking?
My research was twisted into something cruel.
Oh, it's the girl. It's a girl. Is she gonna try and assassinate him, maybe? Yeah. Oh, someone just killed him. They put something in him or something.
Young, I lost my mother.
Maybe not. Yeah, he was the doctor that was trying to get Grogu's blood.
Thanks to the groundbreaking work of the Kaminoans, we know that cloning can duplicate an individual from a single genetic strand.
Here we go.
It must be wonderful now that you work with a government that appreciates your contribution, no? Comfortable, I hope.
Yes, though anything would be comfortable compared to the Outer Rim.
They're gonna assassinate this guy.
You know, I was almost drafted.
Oh, darling, that was the Empire.
Empire, Rebels, New Republic, I can't keep track.
Uh-huh.
I'm so glad you're working for us now.
Thank you.
Are they trying to overwhelm him? He's traveling alone? That's kind of ballsy.
Congratulations on making it into the program.
Thank you.
Eyes on the road, droid.
Have you been in Coruscant long?
Or eyes on the air, sky.
You must be sure to visit the Sky Dome. Oh my, are they something to see? Ah, and if you have time.
That woman in the audience is going to somehow have him assassinated, I think.
Join us for a drink.
Wait, is that her there?
Was just transferred from their Reintegration Institute.
This is G27, M40, G68.
Yeah, that woman. I don't trust her.
Everything all right?
But he obviously knows who she
I
is.
didn't expect to see anyone from Moff Gideon's ship here.
Did he just out her? Yeah, he did.
Didn't know you worked for him.
I heard he escaped en route to the War Tribune.
No, that was just the cover story.
Oh, really? Oh, so Gideon possibly escaped. Hmm.
Long live the New Republic.
Long live the New Republic.
Long live the New Republic.
I think he's hesitant to serve another government.
There are more of us here than I expected.
It's not how the Empire would handle it.
No, it is not.
Awkward.
Have you taken in the sights on Coruscant, Doctor?
No.
I'd be happy to show you around.
I don't trust her, but maybe she might be okay.
What do you miss, L-52?
No, I'm glad that the Empire is...
Oh, not like that. I mean, more like the everyday stuff.
Yellow travel biscuits. Nice. One moment.
Is it that girl again? Not a bad quarters that he has there. There's no one there. If he steps out, he's dead, maybe. I don't know why I'm worried for him. But you didn't notice that when he first walked out? Travel biscuits. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe she's just nice and I'm overthinking it. This kind of reminds me of where Cyril worked from Andor, which is kind of ironic because obviously he was working for the Empire and this guy's working for the New Republic. Kind of shows they're one and the same. Maybe she's still working for Gideon secretly or something.
Makes me feel rather insignificant.
Makes me feel special, knowing everything I had to overcome to get back here.
You've been a Coruscant before?
I trained here at the academy. I thought we were doing good.
All of my research going unfinished. In the right hands, our discoveries could have helped a lot of people.
So why not continue your research here?
He doesn't want it to fall into the wrong hands again.
The ethics of cloning are complicated.
But if it could help the New Republic, isn't that important enough?
What is that?
Yeah, what is that? Is that a rock?
The Peak of Ume, the highest mountain on Coruscant.
Oh.
You want to touch it?
Are we allowed to?
Hear the background music? Wait, is that part of the Imperial March that we were hearing just there? It's something similar.
Please refrain from physical contact.
What's going on with this woman? I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, so is this episode basically going to focus on them, or are we going to go back to Mando and Bo-Katan?
Have you experienced any feelings of anger or resentment towards the New Republic government or its representatives?
It's starting to feel like the same to him as working for the Empire. I think that's why he's hesitant.
According to your file, your previous research is expressly prohibited by the Coruscant Accords, Section 13, Subsection 7.
So we can't continue it for the New Republic.
We can get you a mobile lab station, but it would require going outside our designated perimeter.
If they found out, we'd both be sent back to the Reintegration Institute.
Sleep on it.
I just don't know how I feel about this girl. I can't decide if I trust her or not. Where is this story leading, you know? I'm kind of wondering.
Morning, L52. Everything okay? Yes, thank you.
And notice how he calls him L52, but not by his name. It's very similar to how the Empire was.
It's all still perfectly good.
It's Imperial technology.
Yes, but it can still be put to good use. I just think I could be helpful if I could.
It would require authorization from the department.
Forget I asked.
But I assure you, this is truly helping the New Republic.
Yup. It's kind of starting to feel like the same thing.
Have you experienced any feelings of anger or resentment towards the New Republic government or its representatives?
Yes.
Apologies if you didn't hear me.
Is he wearing a hearing aid? Why does he keep going by his ear?
Our main objective is to help the Republic, and that supersedes everything else.
It does.
The mobile lab station? Let's go get it.
Good. Tomorrow night?
I feel like she's trying to get him in trouble, maybe. I don't know. Is she somehow behind the droid, maybe? Or is she somehow aware of his sessions with the droid and the conversations they're having? Or maybe she wants to take over his research for herself. I don't know. Something just doesn't feel right about this.
It's gonna be fine. Remember why we're doing this.
Why is she so loyal to the New Republic all of a sudden? I feel like if I were in her position, I'd be hesitant to give my loyalty to another organization so fast. He's looking way too nervous. He's gonna get them both caught. Oh, does he see one of their faces on his holopad?
Tom's days, am I right?
He's gotta relax, man. Oh my gosh. That looks so cool.
Where are we going?
Disposal yards. Imperial ships all have mobile lab stations, right? We slip in, grab what you need, and we're back in Amnesty housing before you know it.
Yeah, this is not gonna go well. Nope.
For do you think I got the biscuits?
She's definitely been doing this regularly. Why does that guy keep looking at them? Oh, this almost reminds me of... Uh-oh. Where Ahsoka went. In the Clone Wars, where she went to the lower levels? Tickets! Oh, shit. Is that guy gonna rat on them or something? Aren't the droids gonna see them though? They're getting the attention of everybody. And people might recognize his face.
Am I right?
Yo, don't kill me. Oh no. Oh man. They look so obvious though.
We're gonna jump.
What?
This girl's crazy, man. Wow. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. I feel like he would have broken a few bones doing that. That was insane. Why did she give him that look? Oh, is that a cruiser? It kind of looks like a cruiser. It is. She's experienced at this. Just so crazy seeing this because first we saw it with the Republic. Then when the Republic fell, you saw shipyards kind of like this. You saw remnants of what belonged to the Republic era as the Empire was in power. Now we're seeing the reverse again. Remnants of the Imperial era while the New Republic's in power. But it's still all the same equipment. So it just again kind of reinforces this idea of everything feeling the same despite the changing governments. Look at those little creatures, man.
I must have passed you on Gideon's ship 100 times. Sorry I never introduced myself. Elia Kane, communications officer.
Elia Kane? Interesting.
Dr. Penn Pershing, scientist.
Here it is.
How does she know exactly where everything is? What if Gideon is here somehow? Is that possible?
You always knew what you wanted to do.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I didn't really have a chance to think about it.
Uh-oh.
What was that?
Just the ship settling. Keep packing.
She's sketchy, I'm telling you right now. She's doing something. I don't know if she's maybe gonna try and set him up so she can sell the stuff. Because how does she know it's just the ship settling, you know? Or the droid from the train could have reported them. They gotta ditch those flashlights. Oh my god. Busted. She set him up, I feel. Because I didn't say her name. Yeah, she betrayed him. I knew it. I just knew it. She has nothing to say to him either. He's not even gonna defend himself. Wow. What a bitch.
Listen, I can explain. I wasn't trying.
No need. Amnesty Officer G68 has already submitted a report. Indoctrination by the Empire is challenging to overcome.
What a bitch, man. Are they wiping his memory or something?
This is a mind flayer.
This is a 602 mitigator.
No, it's a mind.
They don't even let him explain himself?
This device is used to heal. I've been through the treatment myself, in fact.
You got him restrained like that?
She brought me there. It was a trap. Please.
Was that a nod to Admiral Akbar? Him saying it was a trap and then to his species?
You set me up.
What a bitch. She's so evil. I don't know why she would do that though. What's her goal?
It's nice to know that for every failure, there's a success.
Wow. So he's not even gonna remember his research.
He relapsed, but he's a friend.
I think she's still loyal to Moff Gideon. Is she gonna contact him now or something? Oh my god, she's turning it up on him? Will that kill him? It definitely will kill him. Either that or completely wipe his memory. Wow, she's so cool. Wow, what a bitch. Okay, now we're back to Mando and Katie in Bo-Katan.
It's a secret location, and you are my guest. It will go smoother if you keep your helmet on.
Great. So he's going back to the armorer now. They don't look very welcoming right now.
I have been to the mines of Mandalore.
Impossible.
He speaks the truth. I was witness.
And who are you?
You tell him, girl, who you are.
I am Bo-Katan of Clan Kryze.
Your house has fallen from the way. You were both apostate.
Oh my god. Bring out the armorer and show her the water sample. Don't show this guy.
I bring proof.
Show the armorer. What if he just pours it out? This should be an interesting meeting. The armorer and Bo-Katan.
I have proof.
Why do I feel like they're not going to accept him back anyway? And then he's going to be forced to go on his own with Bo-Katan.
I was witness. He fell into the depths and I told him out. He speaks the truth.
And?
You are redeemed.
Okay.
The way. And Bo-Katan Kryze, you too are redeemed.
Oh, because she went into the waters with him. She's going to take off her helmet, isn't she?
I did. And have you removed your helmet since? No. Then you may join our covert and live as your ancestors.
Oh, she's going to take off her helmet.
You are one of us. This is the way.
This is the way.
Shit. Well, what is she going to do? That's the beast that we saw, right? I don't know what she's gonna do. Well, I guess she's the convert then. The convert could be applied in multiple ways for this episode. One, Bo-Katan converting to Din's creed in his tribe. And the other, the Doctor converting from Empire to New Republic. I both love this episode, and also there's one thing I didn't like about it as much, but let's talk about what I did like. So first of all, kind of two storylines going on here. The predominant one this episode was between the Doctor and that woman, Elia Kane, I think was her name. Or Elia Kane. I just knew from the get-go I did not trust her for some reason. And I still don't know 100% what her deal is. But she obviously set him up. Really upsetting to see, actually. And I don't know what she did towards the end there. I don't know if her upping the voltage like that will wipe his memories or if it will kill him. But either way, she's up to something. It's almost as if she wants to be the only one that knows about the past, so maybe other people can't use her past against her, because he did kind of call her out in the beginning for having worked with Gideon, and it looked as though she had hid that from everybody else. So maybe she doesn't want anybody else knowing about her past, so she's the only one going forward that knows what it was like working under Gideon and whatnot. I don't know, that's the impression I get. But either way, just so evil, and just shows that you really don't know who to trust. Yeah, she's just evil, man. I don't know. She might be the next Gideon, to be honest. Either way, Gideon is definitely, I think, gonna be around in some way. I think we haven't seen the last of him. They mentioned him in this episode, how there were two rumors, one that he escaped and the other that he underwent treatment with the Mind Flayer, which is what Dr. Pershing went through. And the other disturbing thing about this episode was how similar the New Republic and the Empire felt. I mentioned during my reaction that I really felt the Doctor's working conditions and his office quarters, if you will, greatly resembled that of Cyril's in Andor, which is kind of ironic. As much as they're different governments, they are to a certain extent one and the same. And you really saw that this episode. It really kind of felt like they were still kind of under Imperial control or something similar, but it was just moving on to somebody new. And then even when he was undergoing that treatment towards the end, he said, this is a Mind Flayer. And they said, no, it's not. This is different. I forget what they called it, but it's showing that the Empire and the New Republic have the capability of using the same tactics to a certain degree in order to force people into submission, right? The New Republic in this case is no better than the Empire. They're forcing people against their will to be converts, and they're trying to completely do away with whatever came before. And even when the Doctor was saying he could still make good use of the Imperial technology, but use it for good, his coworkers were not trying to hear it. They just wanted to do with everything that had to do with the Empire without even looking at it, whether or not it could help the New Republic, which goes to show they don't care about helping the New Republic. They just care about not using anything from the past, and everybody being completely loyal to this new government. I also just find it interesting that people are so ready to serve a new order, a new government after the Empire. You'd think people would be a little bit more hesitant before jumping into something like that. People seem to be celebrating and ushering in the New Republic the same way people were celebrating and ushering in the new Empire. It just goes to show people are very used to just blindly following some type of organization. People want to be led to a certain extent, and when you blindly follow orders and you can't see the bigger picture, that is when you run into trouble and you end up supporting oppression to a certain degree. So we see it kind of happening again with the New Republic. Everybody is sort of indoctrinated yet again, and they think that their ways are justified because it's towards a new government. But again, it's kind of one and the same. How good are you when you use the same tactics of your predecessor? You become the very thing you're supposed to be fighting against. So I like that this episode showed us that side, the political side to everything. And it's very fitting that it happened on Coruscant, because Coruscant is obviously the homeworld of politics in Star Wars, practically, right? It was the case for the Republic, it was the case for the Empire, and now it's going to be the case yet again for the New Republic. And you could tell that the Doctor himself was very hesitant a lot of the times, because he felt like he could run into the same problems with his research. All he wants to do is do good, but he had his research exploited by the wrong people, first by Gideon, and then now he's getting into trouble again with the New Republic. They just don't want to even look at his research at all and let him practice what he knows how to practice. So it's kind of sad in a way that there are these people that exist that just want to do good in the galaxy, but then there's all this politics that gets in the way and prevents them from being able to do that. So the other storyline was obviously with Bo-Katan and Mando. So you saw that Bo-Katan, her home got bombed, completely destroyed, which was so sad to see. I mentioned during my reaction, but you really are just seeing how she is losing everything. She'd kind of lost everything already, because that castle, as much as it was a castle, it didn't really feel so much like a home to me, because it was very empty. There was nobody around. You just kind of got the sense that Bo-Katan was really alone there. And now that it's been destroyed, it just kind of reinforces that she has really lost everything. But maybe that is an opportunity for her to walk a new path and form new bonds. And it looks like she's on her way to doing that by now joining Din's tribe. We'll see how long it lasts for though, because I don't really know if she is going to want to follow their way or not. But she's really being more than a good friend to Din, because she essentially sacrificed everything for him to save his life. And she didn't think twice about it, because she just saw him as being Mandalorian, despite them practicing different creeds. Din's tribe sees her as a true Mandalorian, but it's conditional. That's the difference, essentially, I think. The way Bo-Katan views Mandalorians versus the way that Din's tribe views Mandalorians. Din's tribe will only accept you upon condition, whereas Bo-Katan seems to be accepting unconditionally. As long as you're a Mandalorian, she sees you as that way. Whereas the tribe was definitely going to turn against her the moment she takes off her helmet. Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that and where they're going to go from this point. So that part was all good. The only thing I'll say about this episode that I didn't really like is I tend to not really like when shows do this, where they have pretty much an entire episode not focus on the main storyline. I was very intrigued, and still am intrigued, by the whole Dr. Pershing storyline, but I kind of wish it was done more in a way where the focus was still Mando and Bo-Katan, but then maybe they kind of had a couple scenes with the Doctor. They went back to Bo-Katan and Mando, and then in the episodes to come, they kind of build on the Doctor storyline a little more, until that storyline perhaps crosses with Mando's storyline, just because for much of the episode it didn't really feel like The Mandalorian. When they first had Dr. Pershing a couple seasons back, it felt more cohesive because it directly related to Grogu, which obviously it relates to Din as well by default. So it kind of made sense, but this storyline, it's completely separate so far. I would have preferred they kind of started off smaller and not devote so much screen time to it. I mean, I don't know, that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys feel differently. Anyways, other than that, guys, great episode, great 2 episodes actually. You let me know down below in the comments, as always, what you thought of both episodes, guys. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for an all new episode of The Mandalorian. Until next time, guys, take care and see you soon.